What's up guys, welcome back to the channel with your tech know-how Binal. And today I have this HP Pavilion DV6 6166TX entertainment notebook which I got from a colleague of mine regarding an error which he is facing. So guys, the error which my colleague is facing is known as the hard disk 3FO error, and it is very common with HP PCs and laptops. In addition to this error, the boot device too cannot be located. It can be due to one or more of the following reasons. Firstly, it can be an incorrect boot sequence in the BIOS. Next, it could be a damaged master boot record or a damaged boot sector. Thirdly, it can be a drive connection issue, such as the SATA cables or the contacts on your hard. Next, it can be due to a virus attack or a malware. Moving on, it could be a corrupt hard disk partition or it could be various partitions. And finally, it can be a damaged hard drive, such as a physical damage. Since the average lifespan of a hard disk is 4 years, some do tend to last longer than some failing sooner. Also, it could be a hard disk wear and tear over the years that leads to the damage of the platter, head, and motors or motor mechanisms in time. What's the solution, you may ask? But before we could get to a solution, always make sure that your HP desktop or laptop is not as old as a DV6 6166TX. For example, it could be a brand new laptop or PC which you purchased a few months ago, or it can be just a few years old. If that's the case, try the following solutions. Number 1. You could always try repairing the bad sectors in your hard drive. Or 2. Try rebuilding the master boot record. However, if your trusty powerhouse is old as the said DV6 6166TX, then do the following solutions. 1. Try performing a hard reset. 2. Try resetting your hard drive. 3. Try restoring your BIOS settings to the defaults. And finally, if your hard disk is physically damaged, then go ahead and replace your hard disk with a new hard disk. And guys, finally do keep this in mind that the above solutions are not limited to the DV6 6166TX or older models. It can be even used with the current model lineup as well. However, this should be kept as the last resort. Also guys, solutions 1, 2 and 3 did not work for me. So I'm proceeding with solution number 4, that is replacing the hard disk with a new hard disk. But in my case, I don't have a new hard disk with me. So what I've done is I have some old hard disks which have been lying around. So that is one is my old laptop hard disk. So this is an 80 GB internal hard disk for a laptop, and the next one is my Xbox hard disk. So I'm going to try using that as well. I know that there's no operating system in that. So basically as a test, I'm just want to run both of these hard disks and see if they are working perfectly. Alright guys, before we get started on the hard disks, let me show the error which I was speaking to you about earlier. So let's power this up. Waiting it to boot, and also I could hear the old hard disk ticking, so I believe the magnetism of this head and the platter is lost, so that too can be an indication of the hard disk failure. So right now this is the error. Here is the error which I was talking to you about. It's the hard disk 3FO error. So let's get started with the hard disk installation. So guys, before I start, let me show you the tools I'll be using for this project. One will be this flat screw head, which I'll be using to help me pinch out one edge and lift it out of this base panel. So and next I'll be using this SIM card to continue prying open the panel so that I don't damage either the clips or anything of the plastic housing or any other internal components. And finally I'll be using this Phillips screwdriver to remove any screws which I come across. Alright guys, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to remove all 4 of these bracket screws, and followed by the internal screws which is securing the hard drive. So guys, usually there are 4 screws which hold this hard drive in its bracket in place, but I see only 2. So let's go ahead and unscrew this and take the hard drive out. So guys, what we do next is we remove the SATA cable carefully. Make sure we do not damage any wires also. So carefully just remove this and we are done. So this is a 640 gig hard drive, which is pretty standard for this model. So let's go ahead and keep this aside and fix those old hard drives and see if we could get this to boot up. Alright guys, so the procedure is going to be in reverse. So last comes first. So make sure to plug the SATA cable carefully into your hard disk. So like make sure it's aligned. This is the power, this is the data. So as you can see on the hard drive, this is the power and this is the data cable. So align like so. And yeah, we're good to go. It's plugged in and we're good to go. So guys, you're mounting the screws back onto the hard drive mount. So carefully screw these and don't lose any screws, because if you do, you're going to be in a heap of trouble, because yeah, you know that you cannot just carry a laptop without screws. So remember, the hard disk vibrates. I mean, okay, it's your loss. You're going to lose your valuable data as well as your money. So make sure you don't lose your screws. Keep them in place tightly and securely. So in fact, now we have mounted the hard disk tray back in place. So in fact, let's just put 2 screws for the time being, because you may need to remove later on and just diagnose what's wrong, if there are any problems with this hard disk. So that's 1, and that's 2. So yep, that is done. And yep, let's leave the base panel as it is, because we just don't want to fix it right away. So let's turn this to its seated position and let's get this fired up. Alright guys, I have installed my old laptop hard drive, but to my dismay, I'm experiencing the same problem. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to try fixing this Xbox 360 hard drive onto the laptop and see what happens. Alright guys, so as you can see, my Xbox 360 hard drive is connected to the laptop. So let's go ahead and power up this bad boy and see. Alright, so I believe the hard drive is working. So and also my old laptop hard drive, which is this, is also busted. So in fact I just don't want to format and use my Xbox hard drive for this. So let's see what other option I could do. So guys, that's it for this episode. So hope to see you again soon, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.